Now, I'm not saying prison was ever much fun, because you just can't relax when you're under the gun. And old cons used to tell me about back in their day, but now it's me doing the talking, so I'll tell it my way. I'm not saying we were strong, and I'm not saying we were tough, but we never backed down when the going got rough. There was nowhere to run and no place to hide. You looked fear in the eye. You overcame with pride. We fought overwhelming odds when we knew we couldn't win, but we knew we hadn't lost unless we threw the towel in. Never giving up means we never gave in. Everybody used to know where everybody stood. You couldn't walk the line if you weren't no good. Convicts did the screening, and before you reached the door, we knew exactly who was coming and exactly what for. There were pieces of shit, but there was never a doubt. If they let them walk in, they'd be rolling them out. But when the inmate majority turned to lames, rats, and nuts, when you could make yourself a hero fighting cigarette butts, and when the biggest prison gang is in protective custody, then prison just ain't what prison used to be. And it's just my luck, still being around today, to see everything I fought for just slip away. I used to wonder if I was to blame for not schooling these youngsters and giving them game. But it was just next link in the evolutionary chain. A new species has been born with their fingers up their butts. When they're treated like dogs, they lay down and lick their nuts. It's just a matter of time that morning they awake and take a look around and see they got nothing left to take. They're toothless, they're spineless, they're wallowing in shit, and the youngsters just arriving, they don't seem to mind a bit. And they hear an old con reminisce, but the meaning doesn't stick. It's something about those days when they still had their nuts to lick. But they leave him alone because they can see he's deranged. All he does is cry and ramble on how prison has changed. But Mother Nature had no choice but to kill off the very strong. For the weaker to survive, nothing too tough can live too long. And I'm sure some OG dinosaur saw the Ice Age wasn't cool. So with his head held high, he chose a tar pit to die, and he strolled into the pool. And I bet he felt a lot like me, just a stone cold fossil fool. Thank you.